Many blessings. We hope that you are all doing really well. We're so excited to be here. We're not good with this. We have every intention of keeping up with the YouTubers, but we're natural and we hold the intention, but we come when we can, and we keep promising that we'll come back more often. Yes, so maybe we have to set that as an intention.
Yes.
Yes. I hope that you guys are doing really well. We're coming off of an incredible, blissful 4 days of a sacred retreat that we held here in our home. 9 of my beloveds came from New York. What a gift that was to have them come all the way out here, and the sharing and the experience of the mission work that we did was just incredible. And so we're sort of riding on that blissful state of experience, right?
Yes.
I thought it was a great idea at this point where we're just like flying really high to share on the energy of joy and how we can optimally hold the energy of joy in this new creation. And believe it or not, it's not as complicated as it may sound. And this was impromptu as it always is. Bobby said just a few minutes before we started, I have no idea what we're talking about. And it's like the way I love it for us to roll, where there is no planning but authentically just sharing. Yes.
That's the way we roll.
Yes. And what prompted me to share on the subject of joy, aside from the fact that I am feeling so much joy, that we're feeling so much joy, is I had a memory of one of the days where the beloveds were here this weekend, and how I was teaching them how to properly eat a piece of chocolate. And it was funny, because it became many things. One of the beloveds actually sent us a box of the Divers, and we all wanted to get into the box, of course, but I stopped the beloveds and said the importance of savoring everything. And so we had a big practice on how to savor chocolate, and of course the most important part is the sound.
Something I didn't do. Something I don't do.
Something that you don't do,
No,
but I hope
do.
you will learn to do, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm still coming along this thing. I mean, I have, ups and downs and everything like that, and I just have to really enjoy every moment.
Mm-hmm. How do you have downs? What do you mean by that?
No, downs meaning sometimes I get caught up because every time I ate my food and everything like that, I always felt like somebody was going to take it away from me.
Okay.
So I always rushed it, and I never really took the time to actually enjoy
Mm-hmm.
my food,
Mm-hmm.
because as I was saying, I always thought maybe somebody was going to take it away or something like that. It was something that happened to me years ago, but
Right.
but
And I love that.
but it's like what you were saying is just enjoy every moment that you have, and it's almost like kind of like a meditation
It is.
where
It is.
you sit there and you're just experiencing the moment,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of us take for granted. And
Mm-hmm.
as we go through our day and we sit there and we do things, sometimes we do it and we're on automatic pilot, and we don't actually get into what we're doing and the feelings behind it. We kind of like try to rush through it, like me and the eating.
Exactly.
And we try to finish it real quick.
And what
it's just
happens what do you think happens when that happens? When you're rushing through something, what happens?
you kind of like lose the moment.
You look, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And see,
You
we
lose
didn't have
it.
to plan any of this, right? We lose the moment. Absolutely. And I've been trying to capture the expression of this feeling that I had some years ago, and here I go again. That there's so many components to the experience of life, and yet it all comes down to the experiences. If we were to define, like, what is it that's happening as we're on the journey or we're not on the journey, it doesn't really matter whether we're conscious or not. It's the definition of our experiences, the accumulation of our experiences that then defines the wholeness of what our existence has been, right? The existence of what we've been. And so when we go unconsciously, haphazardly, rushing, then we haven't had an awareness, a conscious awareness of what our existence has been. You know?
I totally agree with you, because it's just, we're always rushing to get to the final
Yeah.
thing. We're always rushing to get to, the goal, and not experiencing the journey itself, which is life.
Right. And, and that becomes so important, because then we're always going to be sort of quenching for something. If we're rushing through something, then it leaves us hungry, It's not fully giving us the experience. I'm sorry. And so we're going to feel that there is something more that we need,
Yes.
when really what that void is asking us is to stop, or to pause, or to slow up enough to really savor the experience.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. And that's really where joy comes in, when we allow ourselves the experience of being present, because now you can have a direct experience with what it is that you're being, what it is that you're doing. It's not like it's on mechanical mode, but now you're consciously, eating that, ingesting that,
Experiencing life.
being in the experience, like, yes, being awakened. And like I said, we can say, well, I have this goal, and we can have 100 goals, and this is my aim, my purpose. But what gets you there is every experience, right, from start to finish. And every experience then becomes a step that got you there. Like, once you get there, you're going to feel accomplished, but guess what? Now you're going to want to have another experience, because that's what life
you
is.
really rush through it, and you're like, something's missing. But the experience itself, and I thought it was beautiful, because I received the message over the weekend, and, about, life and what we experienced in life, that, all the bad things that happen in life is an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience, and it's a gift.
Yes.
And it's a gift to help us grow within ourselves, and to expand our awareness of ourselves, of what's around us, and to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
And, even though, bad things happen to us in life, that we have to learn kind of like a lesson from it,
Mm-hmm.
to actually have us grow more.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a beautiful message that I got, because I was always dwelling on, things that happened in my life, people, how I was wronged and everything like that. But I didn't look at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
The experience that I was going through, and that it was a message for me.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Did it bring you joy once you recognized that it was a lesson, a gift?
Yeah, it kind of like, I was thinking of, the past and everything like that, and that it was actually trying to talk to me.
Mm.
And it was talking to me and saying, oh, what did I learn from that experience?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was patience, humility, whatever it was always a gift for me to experience something, and to actually get by it. And by doing that, I found it actually help when I wrong, and that I actually appreciate things more in life.
Mm-hmm.
I am grateful to experience things. If I did not go through these experiences, I wouldn't be in a joyful place right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought
I think that's great, baby.
I thought it was just a beautiful message, thinking that, wow, the worst things that happened to me were a lesson to me to bring me to a place of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, of course, a lot of things happen to us and everything, but, sometimes we have to sit back and be the observer and why
A lot of
things
times
happen.
we have to be the observer, right? And I said to you when we started this is probably going to be the shortest video we do, and I have a feeling that I was incorrect about that because you're triggering me to say something, to share something, which is, it was the basis, the foundation of what the retreat that we had this weekend was. And it's also going to be the basis of a book that I'm working on releasing, which is The New Atlantis and the Sophia Codex. And it's that in this new creation, which we definitely have availability to vibrate on, if we can walk through the threshold of that frequency, like hold it. We cannot have one foot here and one foot there, and in other words, we cannot have one foot in the old paradigm and one foot in the new paradigm, which means that whatever experiences, like Bobby is just sharing, or lessons, we want to call them lessons, we may have experienced that may have injured us. We've talked about this before, in today's joy, but that punctured us, hurt us, whatever, that they served a higher purpose. And once we're able to see that higher purpose, then we can qualify ourselves to be in that place of joy. Once we can walk away and place then both feet in every experience, so that's a good way of looking at it, in every experience that we've had, to be able to place both our feet firmly in the place of gratitude, of seeing the full fruition of every experience and being able to walk away in a place of gratitude for it, we are going to fly then in the new paradigm. But if we have a desire to be in the new paradigm, which is joy, bliss, purpose, peace, and we still want to have one foot in the old paradigm, which means that we're still holding, that we're still trying to justify, that we're just, we're still resentful or hurtful, then we're in two places of different frequencies. And at best, we're neutralizing ourselves. We're not going to be able to have that full experience of joy. We're not going to have that full experience. So I guess the message also is, where are your feet? Where are your feet? Are your feet in position to the new paradigm, which means that you want to look forward, having reconciled and accepted in gratitude most of the past, if not all of it? Are you ready then to forge ahead into the newness of what awaits you? And if you are, oh my God, congratulations, and you are positioning yourself to experience so much joy. Or perhaps are your feet, divided within the new and the old? And if so, are you being proactive? Are you understanding that holding on to the feelings of justification, of those emotions, are something that you are holding on to? And that all you need to do is to surrender and to find the gifts so that you can plant your feet firmly in the new foundation, right?
Surrender and be humble about it.
And be humble, absolutely. Justification is a big one here, pointing of the finger, blaming others. No, we're at a place where we are in a position to declare our freedom. And that freedom comes from the heart center of I am a sovereign being here, and through that decree, I am here to experience love, joy, bliss, peacefulness, happiness, a cooperation, and all those beautiful energies. And as such, you have to qualify yourself, and that means that, we see that everything was in divine order, so we don't point the finger, we don't blame others, we don't justify. But we see the value and what everything was, for what reason, to propel us into a higher vibration. And
No, totally agree, because I feel like a lot of us, we stop ourselves
we do.
because we hold on to things from the past. We hold on to that, and we want to stay there. We want to stay there because it feels safe.
Right.
And by changing and by surrendering and letting go of the past and whatever whether it's your past life, years ago when you were a child, or just last week,
Right.
just to let everything go. And
Yes.
you know what? This is brand new,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a start and a beginning of a beautiful creation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes. Yes.
I think it's beautiful, but I believe that in order to do that, we have to surrender, be humble, and open up.
Yes.
Up our heart.
And so what I noticed, which was the inspiration also for this video, or the subject of the video, was that I was inspired over the weekend with the students to have them partake in certain very simple practices throughout the day that began to ingrain a new practice, maybe a new practice or a more solidified practice for them. And it was very simple. I had one of the rules were that during the retreat, there should always be incense burning, and I made them responsible that at any given time, one of them should walk over to the multitude of altars that we have in the house.
The house smelled wonderful.
Yeah, it did. And to light up an incense as an offering, but also, the importance of scent. Scent is one of the five senses, but it also is something that can immediately trigger us into a state of consciousness. Sage, of course, we're talking about scent, the herbs, aromatherapy. And the smoke of burning something also is very representative of like letting go, of release, of surrendering, of clearing the space, right? And so I was so blissful to see how the beloveds, kept on that practice throughout the 4 days of lighting the incense, and having an offering, and that placed them in a state of consciousness. One of the other practices that I had them do was I had a little box where everyone was to stop and place an intention for the day, and on their first morning here, I went in and I saw that there was some missing, right? Well, that there weren't any missing the rest of the time together. But what it did was that it set a stage for them to start creating a new foundation of practice, right? And so, of course, they went back, most of them on Monday, yesterday. Seems like eternity already. But they've already started to share, I set my intentions today, and even Bobby has been setting his intentions.
Yeah, even after the retreat, we still have I'm still putting my intentions
Exactly.
in.
And so when we talk about joy, right, and we're talking about, this clearing, and so let's take it back to a simple place. And that is, it's in the simple things that you begin to become conscious of and to be appreciative of, that now, believe it or not, starts to build that foundation for you then to be able to even deal with the hardest stuff. And so taking the moments to find joy in the little things that are not so little, like eating a piece of candy. If that does it for you, if it's chocolate, or if it's a marshmallow, or if it's a lollipop. It doesn't matter what it is for you, you know, a piece of steak. There's no judgment here.
Beef
It's
jerky.
a beef jerky for Bobby. It is what brings you joy, and we can start stretching that, you know. How does it feel when you take a shower? How does the feeling of the water trickling in your body and cleansing you feel? And it, you know, most of us I know could say that it feels so wonderful, you know, you feel cleansed. Well, does that bring you joy? And if it does, then acknowledge it. Be in the presence of joy. How does it feel when you're tired and you take your shoes off after a long, hard day? How does it feel to put your head on the pillow when you've had an exhausting, long day? These are the little things where, again, if you're conscious of being in a state of joy and gratitude, you're actually, what you're really doing, and this is going to be the subject perhaps of another video at another time, but you're reprogramming the left hemisphere of your brain into this beautiful, joyful place of being in joy and in gratitude, you know, and it's going to become a second nature to you once you start to practice. I feel joyful. I feel joyful because I'm sitting here. I feel joyful because I'm sharing this video. I feel joyful because I'm here with you. I'm joyful because I am sitting in my home and I'm sitting out in nature. You know, and or because you brushed your teeth, or because you got up that morning, or because you had something to eat. And it is an incredible, simple, very tangible, transformative way to bring joy into the heart center. Yes. Okay. And so I had the students, actually, I said something about sound, and I had the students actually, you know, have that piece of the Godiva, but I told them to slow down and to make sure that they savored every, you know, ingredient, and actually to use the vocal cords to say, right?
It wasn't like the movie Harry Met Sally.
Well, not quite like that, but we could take it there as well too, right? But to really get into the senses, you know, to really, and there's something about the sound, right, the word, that brings it yet to that other level of, oh wow, there's deliciousness going on here, is what the energy force is saying in the body. There is an electrical force of deliciousness going on right now. Let's pay attention. And so the awareness, the energy of joy, the word, the expression, all of that is just creating this beautiful chalice of joy into the heart center, right? And it's not very hard at all, beloveds. This is something so very tangible, yes? And so are you inspired to learn how to slow down eating a little bit now?
Yeah.
And to taste your food and,
Yeah.
right?
I want to be able to, yeah.
Yes. You know, I'm like a child when I'm somewhere where there's aroma. You know, if you place me somewhere where there's scented soaps or perfumes or candles, I'm like a little child. I'm gonna smell everything. I'm gonna spray everything, and I'm just gonna have an experience. But I do so not only to have the experience, but I do so because it brings me such joy to be in the senses, you know, to be in my senses, to be having the experience of using my senses. And so again, yes.
No, I'm just thinking about, because I put on body spray before I go to bed.
Oh yes, he does.
Yeah,
He's not allowed into the bedroom unless he sprays himself.
Yeah, I don't want to be smelling like a monkey.
He doesn't smell like a monkey, but even in the evening, at the time that we're retiring, I want to be able to enjoy him in that beautiful scent. I'm all about scent. But I'm also all about the flavors of food, but I'm all about the nature and experiencing nature. I received an email from someone today who highlighted how they loved the way I acknowledged animals, squirrels, hawks, ducks, how I spoke to them, how I stopped to acknowledge their presence. And it meant a lot to me because that is who I am. I want to take it all in, and I want to acknowledge it all, and that brings me a lot of joy when I see the coexistence with everything that is around me and realize that it's all part of a sovereign divine energy, and that brings me joy to be able to to acknowledge that. It doesn't matter whether people think I'm crazy talking to ducks, or hugging a tree, or taking a dandelion because I think it's beautiful. I know for myself that this is what's allowed me to create this beautiful foundation of joy that sustains me. And so that's why I'm sharing it. And again, because we are in a position in this new creation where we have to where we're being asked to develop the new heart center of the Sophia. You okay? And the development of that heart center, believe it or not, is based on joy, on love, on harmony, on purpose, on cooperation. And so in order to start developing the frequency of the Sophia and the new creation, we have to start introducing ourselves to the experiences that are going to open up that heart center to have those new emotions, and we've always had those emotions on and off, but in the old paradigm there was so much more that wasn't joy, that wasn't happiness, that wasn't blissfulness, that wasn't peace, right? And so this is an invitation to usher yourself into the new creation by experiencing joy. Yes.
Congratulations, you made it through.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that because, beloved, we truly are in the new paradigm. It is waiting eagerly for all to step in. And again, there is a qualifying, and the qualifying is that we need to raise our vibration and to firmly place our feet in the new foundation of the new creation, which means that we've reconciled everything from the past that no longer serves us, and we forge forward with an open heart, right? And ready to experience that next level of energy through joy, through all of this beautiful, blissful purpose that is waiting for us once we let all of that go, And so we hope that we've inspired you or planted some seeds for you to start stepping into that new place, that new heart center. We will definitely be talking more and more about this new heart center, these new energies, and the Sophia Codex, which is the anchoring, the covenant of that new creation. And we hope to hear from you if this resonated in some way. We would love to see comments because it helps us to see that that we're speaking to someone that this resonates with. So please don't be shy in leaving us a comment, and of course the share. We're definitely not looking to build our YouTube. We're looking to build the sharing of the message. And so if you feel inspired by this message and you want to share it with someone else, please do so, because you realize that it has a gift for you, and it would be a beautiful thing to gift it to someone else, right? Right. And so with that, I think that we can go into the swimming pool now and experience the joy of the coolness in 95-degree temperature out here. As always, we leave you with our love, with our light, and with our peace. We send you nothing but joy and happiness. We love you very much. Many blessings.
Peace, love, and blessings.